Hello everyone, this is Manoj, and in this video we will talk about higher order components. Higher order component is a technique which enables reuse of existing component logic. Precisely, a higher order component is a function that accepts a component and returns a new component. Let's now understand how it works. So in the component folder, let's create a new file, so hoc.js, and let's create a function, so import React from React and export default function hoc, and it will take one component, so I'm giving a hoc component as props, and this will return a class component. So return class extends react.component. Inside this we'll use render, and inside render we will use return, and in this return we will simply export our hoc component which we are getting from the parameter. Save. Now go back to app.js and we need to import this first. So import hoc from hoc, and here I will simply type higher order component, and here when we are exporting our app.js, so here we need to change it. So instead of this app we can give hoc and we can wrap this. Alright, now save, go back to browser. So you see we have higher order component. Now what it is doing, it is basically taking this app as a component and returning this. So far we have made one function component, that is hoc, and that function accepts one argument as a component. In our case we are passing app.js. Let's create some more components and see the actual implementation of this hoc component. So in the component, let's create a new file, stocklist.js, and simply create a class component. So import React from React, class stocklist, extends react.component, constructor, props, super props, and we will also create a state. So this dot state, and we are going to give one array stocks. Basically that would be an object, and inside this stock will be an array. So id 1, name Microsoft. Let's quickly copy this object and change the respective IDs. So ID2, ID3, Google, Apple. So we have created one array in the state. So after the constructor, simply use render, and in the render we'll use return div h1, and here we will pass, let's say, a title, stock list. After that we will use a table, had tr thid th name. All right, and after the had tbody, and inside the body we will use map method. So inside this curly braces, this dot state dot stocks dot map. So item and index return tr and td. So here we will use item dot id, and in the next td we will use item dot name, and for this tr let's pass key as index. Close this curly braces. All right, and finally export default stock list. Save. Let's create one more component, user list.js, and I'm going to copy this component and pasting over here, and I'll do some minimal changes. So change the component name first, and here user list, and here let's say Manoj Deshwal, Virat Kohli, and Rohit Sharma. So save, go back to app.js, and let's use our stock list component first, and after that let's use our user list. Save, go back to browser. So we can see the design is not good, but we can simply see we have rendered are both the list. But the problem is, if you see both the components, we are doing the same thing irrespective of the data which we are getting. Data is different, but overall we are doing the same functionality. All right. So here what we can do is we can create one higher order component and pass both the components as an argument. All right. So let's do some change in the HOC component. So in the HOC component here, with this component we can pass data and title, and here we can simply pass some props as title is title, data is data, and we can give rest of the props. So this dot props. So save, and now go back to app.js. Here we need to do some changes. First of all, let me comment this out, this state. Also from the stock. Now if you go back to browser, nothing is rendering. Perfect. Now in the app.js, first we need to use this. Let's copy and paste it here. And this is a functional component, so we can simply say const stock data. No, this is const user data. And let's copy this from user and paste it over here. Const stock data. So we have two objects, user data and const data, and we already imported our stock list and user list. Now what we can do is we can create two more variables, const stocks and HOC. Here we will pass, you see, the component is stock list. Second parameter is data, so we can pass user data, and we can also pass the title. So the title is user list, and for that, here instead of this user list, we can use this dot props dot title. Save. Same thing, do it in stock dot list. Save. Now let's copy this, and if I paste it over here, and let's remove this user list. Save. Now in the stock list, we have to change that this dot props dot stock. This dot props dot data dot stock. Save. You can see we have rendered our user list. Now again, if you go back to over here, and if I want to create another component which is const users, then I can simply use SOC, and here I can pass the component which is user list, and second was the data, so user data, and the title user list, the upper one is stock list. Save, and if I want, I can simply use this component over here. Save. Now similar to this, I can simply use this one, users. Save. I have to change this property as users, and in the user list, this dot props dot data dot users dot map. So save. Now go back to browser. So you can see we have successfully rendered both the components on browser. So basically the primary use of higher order component is to enhance the reusability of a particular component in multiple modules or components. We can also comprise various components to get removed component, or you can get the improved component. All right, you can remove or you can delete your unnecessary repeated code. All right, so most of the third-party libraries are using this feature to write another cool library. All right, so this is about higher order components. So in the next video, I will talk about render props, which is again similar to this higher order component, but using render props, we can also provide enhanced features to our existing component. All right. So this is about today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.